Hello friends, let's study about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are widely distributed in nature in the form of sugars, starches, cellulose, and other complex substances. They contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The general formula of carbohydrate is CxH2OY. They are hydrates of carbon. Modern definition of carbohydrate is that they are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones and their derivatives. Carbohydrates are the primary product of photosynthesis. Their light energy is converted into chemical energy. Carbohydrate provides 4 kilocalorie per gram energy. They promote the utilization of fat and reduce wastage of protein. Ideally, carbohydrates should supply 70% of total calorie required. They can be classified into monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. The term saccharide means sugar or sweetness. Monosaccharides are simple sugars, each consisting of single polyhydroxyaldehyde or ketone unit, and they serve as building block of simple and complex sugars and polysaccharides. Oligosaccharides, oligo means few, contain 2 to 10 monosaccharide units joined in glycosidic linkage. Polysaccharides contain many monosaccharide units from hundreds to few thousands joined in linear or branched chains. Most polysaccharides contain recurring monosaccharide units of one kind or two alternating kinds. Some common names of carbohydrates. Fruit sugar is known as fructose, malt sugar, maltose, milk sugar, lactose, wood sugar, xylose, and carbohydrate from cell membrane is known as cellulose. Monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are simple sugars containing short chain of carbon atom with one aldehydic or ketone group, that is carboxyl group, each of the remaining carbon atom bearing a hydroxyl group. Those containing an aldehyde group are called aldoses and those containing ketone group are called ketoses. Depending upon the total carbon atoms present in monosaccharide molecule, they are designated as trioses 3 carbon, tetroses 4 carbon, pentoses 5 carbon, hexoses 6 carbon, and so on. The simplest sugar are glyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone. They have 3 carbons. Glyceraldehyde is 3 carbon aldehyde group and dihydroxyacetone contain 3 carbon ketone. The most abundant monosaccharide is 6 carbon sugar, that is glucose or dextrose. Glucose is also known as dextrose because it is dextrorotatory. Glucose is also the basic building block of most of abundant polysaccharides, that is starch and cellulose. Glucose occur in ripe fruits, flowers, honey, beetroot, etc. Glucose in blood is the source of energy for animals. Other hexoses of importance in food are fructose and galactose. Fructose or levulose is found in fruit and honey, is the building unit of polysaccharide inulin, and is one of the structural unit of cane sugar, that is sucrose. Galactose, which is not found free in natural food, is a component of milk sugar and agar-agar. Mannose and another hexose is present in alginic acids. The pentoses, arabinose and xylose are components of plant gums. Structure of carbohydrate. As mentioned earlier, carbohydrate contain carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. The general formula is CxH2OY. The ratio of carbon is to hydrogen is to oxygen in carbohydrate is 1:2:1. The glucose is represented as C6H12 and O6. Carbohydrates are organic compound in the form of aldehydes or ketones. The aldehyde and ketone group is represented. Basic structural and functional units of carbohydrates are monosaccharides. carbohydrates can be represented by three types of formula. First one, Fisher projection formula, then Harvard cyclic structure and conformational formula. The Fisher projection formula. This is the long straight chain form of carbohydrate. It is also known as open chain structure. The D and L structure depend upon the OH group present on fifth carbon. That is, OH group present on right side of the fifth carbon, then it is D-glucose, and if OH group is present on left side of the fifth carbon, then it is L-glucose. The picture of D-glucose is given there. Harvard cyclic structure. The cyclic ring form of carbohydrate. The presence of pyranose or furanose ring. Pyranose means ring that have 5 carbon and 1 oxygen. Furanose, that means ring will have 4 carbon and 1 oxygen. Alpha and beta depend upon the position of OH group in the first carbon in the ring. OH group, if present towards downwards, then it is alpha, and if OH is present towards upwards, then it is beta form. The D-glucopyranose form is depicted there. The conformational formula. Carbohydrate conformation refers to the overall three-dimensional structure adopted by carbohydrate molecule. The conformation for a molecule of glucose can be a boat form or a chair form. Since boat conformation of glucose is not favorable energetically, so chair form of glucose is most stable. Chair form of D-glucopyranose ring is depicted there. The Fisher projection and Harvard cycle structure of fructose is given. Two monosaccharide units linked together with the splitting of a molecule of water forms disaccharide. The bond between two monosaccharide is alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage. A glucose molecule linked to another glucose molecule gives maltose and water. The reaction is given there. Glycogen is a polysaccharide that consists entirely of glucose molecules that are linked by two types of bonds, that is alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond and alpha 1,6 glycosidic bond. Starch is the way that glucose is stored in plants. There are two forms of starch. They are amylose and amylopectin. Amylose is an unbranched version of starch that contain only alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond, whereas amylopectin is branched version of starch. It contains both alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond and alpha 1,6 glycosidic bond. Some important points. Glucose, in which free aldehyde or ketone groups are present, can reduce filling solution and Benedict solution and are called reducing sugars. Sugars that possess free aldehyde or ketone group are known as reducing sugars. All monosaccharides are reducing sugars. When two monosaccharides are linked together, their aldehyde or ketone groups by their aldehyde or ketone groups so that the reducing groups are not free. These sugars is known as non-reducing sugars. Maltose and lactose are reducing sugars while sucrose is a non-reducing sugar. Stereoisomerism. Stereoisomers are compounds whose structural formula is same but arrangement of atoms in three-dimensional space is different. Example, glucose has two forms, D-glucose and L-glucose, with that is respect to carbon number 5. That is, OH group if present on right side, then it is D-glucose, and if OH group present on left side, then it is L-glucose. The picture is given. Optical activity. Optical activity is the phenomenon in which a molecule rotates plane of plane polarized light. If molecule rotate the plane towards left, it is designated levorotatory, minus sign is given, and if the plane is rotated towards right, the molecule is designated dextrorotatory. It is given plus sign. D-glucose rotates plane of plane polarized light towards right, while L-fructose rotate it towards left. Thank you.